Hi ladies, my name is Kaka Amano and I'm an etiquette and lifestyle educator. Today I'm going to be filming this makeup look that I have on my face right now. So if you're interested in seeing how I achieved this look, then keep watching. Today's video is kind of different. I'm going to be doing a requested video, which is my makeup routine. Just a little background. For 10 years of my life, I was practicing as a certified skincare consultant and makeup artist. And during that time, I had always kind of known that I lean more towards softer looking makeup. And that has kind of influenced the way that I do my makeup on myself. I tend to go towards softer, not exactly simple and not exactly, natural, but soft. So the first thing I tend to do is to prep my skin, and I'll be moisturizing first using this product, this oil that I can't tell you about yet, but you get to know in a few weeks. So I'm just taking 2 drops of the oil to moisturize my skin. Just press it in and down my neck. So now that my skin is adequately moisturized, I would moisturize my lips with a lip balm. You can use any lip balm really. So like I said, the first thing that I'm going to do is prep my skin. A good skin prep serves as a good base for whatever else you're going to put on. First, I'll be mattifying my face with this Becca Ever Matte Poreless Priming Perfector. I'm taking something really small because I'm only going to be mattifying the areas of my face that tend to get oily, which is, well, generally my T-zone area. I also tend to put it on my brows to serve as some sort of prime for my brow products. Next, I'm going to be priming the rest of my face with the MAC Prep and Prime, just a pea-sized amount like that. And I'll just rub this in together in my palms and press on my face. I also tend to take it down my neck as well. I'll also be using this Glam by Melanie Mills Body Radiance in the shade Deep Gold, and I'll just be taking a very tiny amount and again rub together and press into my skin. I like to do this because it kind of helps with starting a glow on my skin. I like my makeup to be, to look skin-like. And now I'm going to be doing my foundation. I'll be using MAC Studio Fix foundation. Well, Studio Fix Fluid Foundation in the shade NC46. So I like my foundation to look skin-like, right? So I don't use a lot, especially at a time. So at this point, I don't really worry about my blemishes peeking through, because honestly, I feel like your blemishes are actually a part of your beauty, if that makes any sense. I know it's weird, but I kind of feel that way. I feel like it kind of makes your makeup look a bit more natural. So the trick to good makeup is actually blending. You have to make sure that you blend everything properly and evenly. So make sure it looks as seamless as possible. So I'm just going to get my neck, just the top part of my neck, just so that it doesn't look like my face stops here. Right, so next thing I'm going to be doing is to color correct the dark areas in my face, which is basically just under my eyes. I don't do this step all the time. I just do it when I want that kind of like that seamless look sometimes. Anyway, so I'm using the MAC conceal and correct palette in the shade Dark. I'm going to be using this orange color to color correct. So I'll just use my ring finger and tap just a little bit into it and pop it right under my eye. So a little goes a long way, honestly. Then for concealer, I tend to use this first, but I've hit pan here, so I had to get like a separate one. And this is the shade NC45. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and pop it right there, like so. Just a little. Then I'll be using first off my foundation brush to kind of blend it in. You don't want to be pulling on this area, so you just need to go with light taps. With what's left on the brush, I'm just going to go over my brow bone. This is to just start the highlight. I'll blend it in with the brush, and I'll also go over my lid. There really isn't much left on the brush, so I'm just, just putting that on there to make eyeshadow easy to apply. To highlight, I already started the process of my highlight with the MAC Studio Finish Concealer that I just applied. I'm just going to pop a little bit more of a highlight into my under eye area, and I'm going to be using this ColourPop concealer in the shade Tan 50. So that's it. To blend that in, my sponge is damp, not wet. It's just damp. I'm also going to be taking that concealer and just making a highlight line down the bridge of my nose and a little bit on my forehead, just a little dash, and a little bit on my chin. So these are the areas that I want to highlight. I'm going to go ahead and blend. I tend to squeeze my sponge while doing this so it doesn't get the concealer everywhere. Just to make sure everything is blended well and looks seamless, I go over everything with my foundation brush. Just tap that in. I will be setting my highlight with the ColourPop No Filter Setting Powder, Loose Setting Powder in Banana. I just take a little bit of the powder, just a little bit. I don't like to bake, so I don't use the sponge to do this. I just like to set it lightly. I first and foremost set my under eye area because if I don't, then it might crease. And I'm going to be setting my nose with the same powder, but this time I'm going to use a sponge. So I'll go in with the sponge, the same area that I used to blend, and just pop that on that line. I'll also set my jaw with the same sponge and my forehead with the sponge as well. First off, I'm not really concerned about my makeup being perfect. That's the trick. I learned that while I was a makeup artist, my goal was to have perfect makeup, but once I stopped that and once I started doing makeup more on myself, I realized that I was more interested in looking soft, and to get that soft, almost neutral look, natural look, there's actually beauty in imperfection. So that's why I stopped trying to have my makeup be perfect. So next I'll be contouring my face using my Black Opal Stick Foundation, Black Opal True Color Stick Foundation in the shade Beautiful Bronze. I don't like my contour being super dark, so I just going to pop in a little bit under my cheekbones. And taking my concealer brush, I'll be popping on a little on the sides of my nose. So I'm just making, like I'm trying to contour that highlight, the highlighted area. So my goal is to make the highlighted area as narrow as possible, right? So the contour line that I'm making, well, it's not a line because I'm blending as I go. It's kind of close together, right? So I'm taking that contour shade up towards my eyebrows. I just feel like it looks more natural when your contour starts from there, because if you study your facial features, you'd actually notice that your face is naturally contoured that way. So what I do is I just contour the areas of my face that are naturally contoured, right? So I'm going to be blending my nose using the Sigma brush. It's an eyeshadow brush, but I like it to contour with, and it's the E55, and I'll just blend that. I like to blend this first so that it doesn't kind of just set. Then with the base of my beauty sponge, I'll just blend this cheek contour a bit. I'll also be taking a bit of the stick foundation and beginning the contour of my crease. So, you know, I took it up towards my brows. I'm just going to take it down because that's where there's a natural contour of my crease. So it kind of looks like this at the end of the day. I'll also be blending in with the sponge. I feel like you should take your time when doing your skin work because it's the most important part of your makeup. That's as far as I'm concerned. I'll also blend the nose contour a bit more with the sponge. Blending is key. Next, I would be dusting a bit of powder, the setting powder, loose setting powder, under my eyes to kind of catch fallouts for when I start doing my eyeshadow. I'll just use the sponge this time and just grab a little bit of powder and pop it under my eye lightly. So the idea behind this is to trap any loose eyeshadow that might fall. So don't worry about blending it or, you know, having it look perfect. So now I'm going to be starting my eyes. I would start with my brows, and I'll be using the MAC brow pencil in stud. I brush the hairs of my brows in the direction that they grow so that I can see where to fill in. You don't need to roll up your pencil so much. I like my brows to look soft. I was going to say natural, but it's not natural, it's just soft. So I first off tend to outline the lower end, and I just do that so as to have a guide, but I don't outline from the beginning of my brows. I just kind of start from around here. Then for the top, the same thing. I'm just going to start from somewhere here and softly outline to meet the other one. The idea behind this is I don't want the beginning part to look harsh. I actually like it looking extremely soft. So now that I've outlined this, I'm just going to fill in, you know, not everywhere, just areas that I can see that I have sparse hairs. So I'm doing this in hair-like strokes. And I don't even fill in so much because I still like to retain some of those sparse areas. It just helps with the soft look that I'm going for. The reason that I highlight my brow bone a bit first is because it kind of gives me a guide as to how to outline my brows better, and it looks better when I do it that way. So now I actually never care about my brows looking identical. They're sisters, not twins, so they shouldn't look identical, because your natural brows don't even look identical. The next thing I'm going to do is to set my brows with the Prolonged Waterproof Brow Set in the shade Red Chestnut. I actually love MAC products in general. I'm going to lightly brush through my brows just to keep the hairs in place. Next, I'm going to re-highlight my brows. The first was a pre-highlight. Now I'm just actually going to highlight, and I'll be using the same shade. I'll just take very little because my brow bone's already sort of highlighted. So this is just to further define. And with this, I don't go all the way in. I stop where I start to outline my brows from, because I'm going to be going in with a darker shade on the inner corners of my brows. I'll be using the NC50 and NW45 mixed together. The idea behind this darker shade is to define the brows but still have it look natural. For my eyeshadow, I'll be using this Morphe palette. I forget what it's called. So I'll be starting off my eyeshadow with this shade right here. I'll just take that and kind of set that contour that we did before. I like my eyeshadow to look, again, not flawless, not defined. I tend to use the same brush for everything because it kind of makes it easier for everything to blend together. And don't get it twisted, I have like a whole ton of brushes over here, but I prefer to use the same brush just because it makes everything blend together better. The next shade that I'll be using is this brown right here, and kind of just go beneath the first shade that I applied. You might not see the difference when you're applying, but you can only really see a difference when you look at the two. And you can see like this one is a bit more intense, it's a bit darker. I tend to use my brush to also pop right into this corner, just to dip into that contour. With a fluffy brush, which is weird because makeup artists will tell you not to use a fluffy brush for shimmery shades, but I feel like it gives it a more blended look. So I'll be using this gold shade right here, and I'll just kind of blend it into my eyelid. Then I'll blend it to meet my crease color. And I'll be using this deep brown shade here, right? Yeah, this one, to intensify my crease and extend it a bit to meet the first crease colors that we applied. And believe it or not, but with that, we're done with eyeshadow for now. So next I'm going to do my eyeliner. I'll be using this Kohl Kajal by Glam. So first off, I will tightline, which is to line the waterline, the upper waterline. So now that I've tightlined, I'm going to go off camera and pop on my lashes, which are these 3D lashes. I am not a softie when it comes to lashes. I like them glamorous, but not, you know, too heavy. I'm just going to pop on this falsies and I'll be back to do the rest of my face. I've just done the rest of my eyes off camera. I just popped on lashes and finished up my eyeliner and swept off the powder under the eyes. So now we're just going to finish up the face with powders. The first thing I'm going to do is to kind of set that foundation that we had initially applied. The powder that I'm going to be using is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark. I'll gently sweep this all over my face. And down my neck. I'm going to be bronzing my face with the ColourPop bronzer. I'm going to be bronzing the area that I contoured initially, so my cheekbones. I do this because I don't really like to contour with powder, so I use the bronzer instead. Then I'm going to be taking it on the outer corners of my forehead so basically I'm bronzing the outer corners, the outer parts of my face, so that means the outer corners of my forehead where light would generally not hit. We already did the underneath the cheekbones, and I'm doing the jawline as well. So remember, the essence of the whole thing is to be as light-handed as possible. Then with the brush that I contoured my nose with, I'm going to go back with the bronzer and kind of just set that lightly. Blend it. Then with the powder brush, there's nothing on the powder brush, I'll just blend everything. Like I said, I'm a firm believer in blending, so blend as much as you can. I'll be using the same brush that I used for my bronzing to go in with this black opal blush in the shade Cayenne. Again, blend. Then last but not least, I'll be using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Gold Deposit. Just sweep this across my cheeks. I'll take it a little bit upward where light generally hits. I would also be using a smaller brush, and I'll take a little bit of that gold deposit and tap here, just a little bit, and blend, blend, blend. Then I would also tap here lightly. So I don't do the entire thing, just those two areas, because that's where light hits. Once more, blend, blend, blend. So this time I'm also going to take a bit of powder, 2 taps, and blend everything together. So I'll be using this to set my face, which is the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus spray. While I let that set, I'll do my lips. So for lips, I'll be lining with the MAC lip pencil in Chestnut. So that's just a very rough outline. Then for lip color, I'm going to be using the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream, these 2 shades. So with the darker shade, I'll just line over the lip liner. And after outlining over the lip liner, I'll just spread what's left on the applicator all over my lips. It's like a nice warm brown shade. Then I'll be using the lighter shade on the inner part of my lips. Just tap, tap. So it gives me like a soft brown ombre, and I'll finish off with gloss. Sometimes I just like to have it matte, but other times I like my lips glossy. So this is like my favorite lip color to wear. I think I'm always wearing nude shades and brown shades. Last but not least, I'll be using this old MAC Fix Plus that I kind of just put a little bit of you know, colored pigments in to make it like a glowy, highlighty thingy. And I'll just spray that on my face. I like to do this to return a bit of glow back into my face after all the mattifying with powders. And this is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you were able to pick up one or two things from it. I don't know what you're going to pick up. I feel like it's a long process, but at the same time, it's my process. It works for me. And I think that it's important that you find your own process as well, what works for you. You can take bits and pieces of other people's routines and add it into your own makeup routine to just keep trying to see what you like and what looks good on you, and just keep practicing until you get it right. So thank you, ladies, for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and let me know in the comments section what part of the tutorial that you enjoyed and will be trying soon. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when next I post. Stay safe, ladies, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.